Welcome to the West Yorkshire Football Show. It is a Talk Town special. And Steve's headline this week is Terriers win late against Posh to make it 3 wins from 3 for Manning. So 3 wins from 3. What an evening we have, gentlemen. I said gentlemen who have joined us and everybody, all our viewers. So thank you very much for tuning in. So our comments already in. We'll get to them very, very shortly. Oliver, you've got yourself a new mic. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been told I don't sound like Darth Vader, so that's good. I've just had to do a few tune-ins. But, yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm very well. It's sunny over here, summertime. So, yeah, everything's all going well.
Good man, good man. Steve, how are you this weekend, my friend?
Yeah, good. I haven't got a new mic. So, you know, c'est la vie. But yeah, great. I've had a nice Italian with my better half tonight. But I've just made it in time to come on here with you fellas and discuss the fantastic game yesterday.
You're such a hero, good Steve, headline. For making it back in time for us.
Such a hero, mate. Honestly, I do my best.
You certainly are. But we're not all as professional as Oliver, but we do try our best. Maybe one day we will be. Who knows? Look, plenty of comments in here as well. So let's maybe start getting through some of them. Michael, I've seen all 3 of yours, so I might just get back to them in a moment. Good evening, Terriers, says Phil Sheen. What else we got on here? Some talk in there about Radulovic, which I'm sure we'll come on to as well. Phil says, evening, guys. Luke Foley says as well, evening, chaps. What a week. Disciplinary issues, wonder goals, fight backs and records broken already by the manager up the town. First town boss to win 3 games on the bounce in years. Well, in all of its years, Terrier 930, the first ever manager is Liam Manning.
He's nicked my stat. He's nicked my stat. I had that ready when you came to me, Kane, and I can't do it now. I'm pointless. What's the point of me being here?
Well, Steve, do you want me to answer that one, or shall we?
No.
Right, okay, we'll just crack on then. Great performance and win against Luton with 10 men. Alfie May sending off a poor decision. Thought we had a chance to overturn the decision, but the FA would not change it. Radulovic out for a few weeks with hamstring injury. Swansea City striker Bobby Wales rumoured to be signing on a season loan. And Michael also says great performance and win against Peterborough. Disappointing we let a 2-0 lead slip and let Peterborough back into the game with 2 goals. We never gave up, and Humphries got the winning goal. That's certainly right. Tim also talking about the Bojan Radulovic injury. Also, importantly here, I think what Phil says is fresh air between us and ones behind us now. That is massive. Good evening, guys. Who needs 11 men on the pitch? 10 men town are unbeatable and a Ledson goal of the season contender. We will definitely be getting onto that one. Huddersfield injury crisis. Curse strikes again. Bojan out for 8 to 10 weeks, in the words of Manny, Mr. Markham. He's going to be busy tomorrow on deadline day. A good one from Tim here. How many points would Lee Grant have got from the last 3 games in the same circumstances? 2, being optimistic. Same players. Previous manager had, and Manning after 3 games has hit a tune out of them. Ledson looks a different player under Manning. He admitted it, but it's nice to be playing with no shackles on. What else have we got in here? Looking forward to Blackpool, says Liam. So it says Lisa, sorry. Thank you for tuning in, Lisa. Evening. First time going you live is Miles, so thanks for watching us, Miles. We beat a good side, guys, and they give us a game, and we delivered, says Jed. Jed, thanks for tuning in. Under Grant, we would have lost the past 3 games. Great to see fighting, the lads fighting for each other. Okay. So many comments in already. By the way, some of these comments were in before we even started. So thank you so much for them. Thank you so much. It's been brilliant. Keep your comments coming in. We'll do our best to get through them all. Although if they keep going on like that, it might be hard to do so. But that's not your problem. That's our problem. So thank you for making a bit of a headache for us to get through them. So we spoke to Steve. We spoke to Oliver. I think it's time we ask how Cal Scott is this weekend.
Hello.
Wonderful, chaps. Wonderful yet again. I love football.
Where's your
It's
sunglasses?
refreshing, Carl. Whenever you come on now, it's like positive. I like it.
Great. I don't have sunglasses, but I'm back on the Corona Zeros.
No.
But it's February now. You're not going back to the hard stuff, or are you sticking on the
Clear the
zero?
backlog, really.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay,
There tomorrow as well for that. So
makes sense. Okay, guys. So Town 3 wins in 3. We spoke about the Bradford game. On to Tuesday night, Huddersfield Town versus Luton Town, and it could have been a tricky one. It turned out to be a tricky one due to the circumstances in the game. But let's just go through the lineup for Huddersfield Town. Nichols was in goal. Balker, Lowe, Wallace at back 3. Gooch and Mubba, the 2 wingers. Ledson in the middle of the park with Humphreys. Harness and Alfie May just both playing off either side of Radolovic. Oliver, when you saw the lineup, how did you see it? Do you think, yeah, pretty much the same as what we had against Bradford? That should be positive.
Yeah, strong team, isn't it? I mean, Manning's only been in the role for a couple of weeks. He's already got his team sorted, I would say. He seemed to be doing quite well. And it was quite positive. It was one of the times where I went into this game looking at Huddersfield and going, yeah, Huddersfield can win this. There's not a case of, it's going to be a draw or, etc. It was a good lineup, I would say. And we had what we needed. We had the attacking force. I'm sure we'll go into Ledson later. He seems a changed man nowadays. But yeah, it was a good lineup.
And Steve, when you saw the lineup, quite happy with it? There weren't too many changes in there?
No, I was happy. Yeah, really happy. I think we all knew that, obviously, even without McGuane, that was a natural change. But yeah, delighted. I really like this formation. I think it suits us to a T. And
Cal, just on that formation, I think when we talk about the difference of it now between Lee Grant and Liam Manning the difference is it's the one striker, but then 2 forward players off him rather than 2 strikers and 1 forward player working one side and it not really making much sense on either side in that final third. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say so. And what it allows and what we're seeing is that it allows the players to get into the positions that they sort of naturally want to be in and are therefore better when they're in them. I've seen a lot of people use the phrase round pegs in round holes because you're asking the players to do the things that they want to do and you're getting better results. So we see the players feeding off the front man. The front man might get the ball, hold the ball up and then release the ball to a runner. But the runners are Sorensen, Gooch, Harness, players that like to run. So it's working. And it like Steve says, it suits us, I think, down to a T. This team is well able to carry that tactic out.
So talk about round pegs, round holes. Is there anybody in this formation at the moment that you think might be a bit of a square peg going into a round hole?
Dejan Charles. But
he is playing his position, though.
He is. And
that's what we're talking about.
Not necessarily. What I thought, and I know we'll come on to it, is that maybe because of his lack of action within the first team and the squad as a whole, I think he struggles to keep up to the speed of the game. However, that will come with time and more experience being in a match day. But I couldn't point, I don't think, at this point to a player that I don't think fits or is doing what, or is not doing what they've been asked to do. There's no sort of obvious outliers, which I think is why we've been able to put together these performances where it's been backs to the wall and we've had to shut teams out. I think we've been able to do it quite well because everybody is in the right place doing the right things.
And Steve, same question to you, and it'll be the same to you, Oliver, in a second. For you, is there anybody who may be a square peg going into a round hole?
The only one yesterday was David Kasumu, because he played far further forward than what we've ever seen him play before. But no, I don't think so. Not really. No.
I think yesterday, obviously, there was a bit different with circumstances, players available. So we can understand that. But when we talk about the game against Luton, with the majority of them available, you are seeing that. Oliver, any for you?
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I've had a bit of time to think about that one, and I can't think of in a Liam Manning's team. I couldn't think of anyone. If you would have asked me about a Lee Grant's team, there would have been a few, which is quite ironic because obviously that's just how far it seems to have changed. You know what I mean? But no, I can't really think of anyone that goes, yeah, you know, that person maybe is not fitting at the moment. It's going well.
Well, that's positive, eh? How positive is that? What a start we are having.
I think
what a start we are having.
I think interestingly, Ballymunba has made a bit of a difference because he's actually added a bit of pace and directness in that certain position that he's playing. I think that has given the ability to push high up the pitch. You've seen it in every game, basically, that you know, he wants to take on his man, he wants to play forward. I also think Murray Wallace and Joe Lowe are just doing what they've been asked to do very simply. They're not overcomplicating it. So for me, Liam Manning, what he seems to have brought, he's just simple instructions and not overcomplicating things. That's what I would say, and that's why it's worked.
Okay, so let's move on to the game then, Steve. Oh, sorry, Oliver, were you saying something?
No, sorry, I was just saying I completely agree. I mean, like I say, it just seems so much more simplified. It does seem a different team than what we had with Lee Grant. And I know some people are commenting about how many points we would have got with the Lee Grant team. Yeah, I mean, Manning's kind of changed it up a bit and we're doing all right.
Yeah, Town certainly are doing all right. Okay, let's get on to the game against Luton Town. Huddersfield Town 1, Luton Town 0. Massive game that, Steve, because Luton was 7th, Town was 6th. And it was a kind of, right, as I think Carl mentioned it last week on the podcast, what can you do at Huddersfield on a Tuesday night? In fact, Carl actually mentioned that on BBC Radio Leeds.
Yeah, he did.
Nice. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. But can they do it on a Tuesday night? And it's still a question to be asked because Town were they were under the cosh on them for most of the game, Steve.
Yeah, I wasn't just whether they can do it on Tuesday night. It was also against another team that we've so struggled to get points against anybody in the top 7. So we've gone and beaten Bradford in a derby game. You know, Luton was obviously going to be different because there was less people there. There was, you know, maybe less intensity. But then because of the circumstances of what actually happened, it created that natural intensity. And I think the players really showed up for that. You know, they all backed each other. And obviously, I'm sure we'll talk in detail about the red card. But I just think it was a top performance against what is an all right side in Luton. I didn't think Luton were great on the night, but overall they're a decent team in this league. In fact, it looked a bit like a Lee Grant team, did Luton on that night. Like they didn't have much conviction about themselves. You know, they didn't look like they sort of knew what they were doing. That's just my opinion. You're pulling some faces there, Game, but yeah. You obviously naturally disagree with that.
I just thought it was a bit harsh on Jack Wilshere. Oliver, how did you see the? How did you see the game from your opinion? Obviously, you watch it differently to how we do.
Yeah.
We will talk about the incident, but it was going to be different to what it was against Bradford.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mentioned earlier that Manning's obviously come in. No, the managers, the other teams won't know what a Liam Manning Huddersfield Town is. So obviously going to Luton, they wouldn't have had as much research on how it's all set up. So obviously we had that in favour. And obviously being at home, I keep putting on my own social media about Fortress Aku at the moment. I think we're 8 unbeaten at home. So it seems to be sort of a fortress. I say that in a media term, but yeah, it seems to be kind of like a solid place for teams, for Huddersfield to beat teams at the Aku Stadium at the moment. Yeah, and like I say, I mentioned earlier, Ledson seems a changed man at the moment. Seems a lot more active. So yeah, it was a good result. It's only our second victory against a team in the top 7. So, but yeah, I thought it was brilliant, and they were promotional rivals as well, or playoff rivals anyway.
In Cal, it was that different game that you expected it to be in terms of the atmosphere, etc.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're always naturally going to have a drop off on a Tuesday night, anyway. But you're not comparing a usual Saturday to the Tuesday night because you've come after Bradford at home, which is a bigger crowd anyway and a more vociferous crowd anyway. So what was really nice was to see that. I don't really want to go down the Fotheringham route here of training with intensity, but we played with the same sort of intensity through the game. And obviously events happened during the game that meant that we had to once again sort of throw everything that we'd planned for before the game out of the window. So it was another test of this tactic, this manager, this team, how they go about negotiating when things haven't gone the way that they wanted them to go. And, we come out with a 1-0 win. And I only say somehow in the balance of the game and all the things that happened would suggest that Town were undeserving of a 1-0 win, when actually I think they played well enough to get it anyway.
Okay, so let's now talk about the incident. The way I think I'm going to go about it is I'm going to go Cal, Steve, Oliver, because we'll all have different perspectives on it.
It's like a scale of calmness, isn't it? That with me at the top, we'll down to Steve and Oliver at the end.
Yeah, maybe so. But Cal, you're halfway from the pitch from it happening. You might not have got to see the view properly, but when the referee puts the red card up, are you going, what's just happened there?
We had no idea what the red card was for. Nobody did. So everybody, I was talking at the time. I was talking with the lad next to me. I wasn't even watching what was going on because there was a break in play. Everyone turned around and said, what's just happened? What's happened? I think you sent May off. I think you sent somebody off. So everyone's then starting to panic. And then we find out that he has sent him off. And no one then knows why. And obviously no one's got any signal, so we can't find out. Whoever's in charge of the scoreboard played a blinder by just accidentally showing the little clip just afterwards that the highlight came up of the incident, and then it quickly got sort of moved on. But yeah, that's how we saw the incident. I didn't see it at all.
Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he kicked it out at him. I didn't think it was anything else. As he's gone to try and tackle him, I thought he'd like kick the back of his leg or something. So I didn't know what it was. But due to my disability, I listen to hospital radio, and they obviously in the press box, much like yourself, came when you sit in there, or Oliver, when he goes, you have replays. So it was quickly explained to me that that he pulled his hair, but yeah, it's just, I mean, everybody around me, because I was the only one that could hear the commentary, everybody was asking me what had happened. And I kind of love that, asking a blind man to sort of describe what had happened on the pitch. It's fantastic. So yeah, it was just a ridiculous incident, and you can tell 100% that as soon as he's shown the red, like May's reaction tells you everything. I think it's disgusting. Like, genuinely, the officiating in this country is horrific, really bad. I mean, I'm glad Oliver's become a referee because we might get some standards back in game.
You've not seen him perform yet, Steve.
I don't think so. He can't perform any worse than that ref at Luton. Jesus.
He's only got 4 teams to look after anyway. Oliver, you are the resident referee. You would have watched it on TV.
Yeah.
What happened?
I mean, the league is a lot smaller here in the Falklands, so but the refereeing is well, I tell you what, you can ask someone from the Falklands what my refereeing is like. But yeah, when I saw it again, I'm watching it on the TV. It does look very soft, and even when I was watching,
He uses head and shoulders. That's why.
That's it. I was reading the article, and obviously BBC are very good at their journalism, and they usually put like I don't know, dissent or a proper statement of what the charge was or what the offence was. They've literally just put pulling Casey Palmer's hair. That's not a technical term, is it? That's not the I mean, it sounds like they don't know what
the technical term was put down as was violent conduct.
Violent conduct, right? Well, that's there's also a rule that was circling around about you've got to have your hair tied back properly, and his hair was going left and right. I mean, I don't know. It seems a bit crazy, but obviously rules are rules. FA have dismissed the appeal, and sadly, or however you look at it, we have to respect that and carry on. But yeah, I mean, fortunately, it didn't affect the result as badly as it could have done.
It's the worst red card I've ever seen. Genuinely, I don't think
it does look very soft, as I said. Yeah, I mean, there's many people that were, as Cal said, in the ground that was wondering what's gone on, and we were sat watching the TV. I was like, wait, what's actually gone on here?
I once watched a bit of hair pulling in rugby league. Semi Tajalala for the Bradford Bulls played on the wing, and he grabbed Earl Crabtree's hair.
I remember this.
And tried to drag it off the field when he was making a tackle. Yeah. And I think he only got a sin binning. What Alfie May did is literally just tried to grab his back, and tried to grab his shirt to stop him from getting away. Yeah. Casey Palmer's hair down there, and he's had it pulled. That's it. It's not even a goal scoring. Sorry. Yeah, it's not goal scoring opportunity, anything like that. It is violent conduct. It is against the person, because again, if anyone watched the Chelsea game yesterday, hands were raised in throats. Therefore, it's a red card. It's violent conduct. Yes, on Saturday. Well, yeah, Saturday. Last Tuesday, he's not violently gone to pull his hair, has he? It's the shortest.
Where's common sense, Ken? Where's common sense?
That's it. Yeah, that's
like, it. I don't understand how, because I don't even think the ref saw it. Because when you look at the replay, it's Casey Palmer that's telling him that he's pulled his hair. So I don't even think the ref saw it. So
no, I don't think he did. Look, gents, we're nearly 24 minutes into this one, and we've not even spoke about this wonder goal, and we want to talk about the game against Peterborough too. So all I will say is I was so glad I was commentating when that ball fell to Ryan Ledson, because I lost my voice at how good that goal was. He just struck through that ball so beautifully from the bottom right to the top left. It put that curl on. And Cal, you must have had the best view. You must have had the best view. Just talk to me about it.
My initial reaction versus end reaction, very, very different, because he hits the ball. And my first reaction is, what have you done that for? And then it starts to get closer and it starts to dip. You think, oh my God, oh my God, oh my, oh, and everybody. It wasn't even like properly celebrating because nobody could believe quite what had just happened. I just saw some people just standing like that.
Yeah.
Because the way the ball leaves his foot and it does quite violently go out to the side and curve back in. The technique to take it on and the confidence to be able to think you could do it is superb, and it's a long time since we've seen a goal like that. For Huddersfield, I don't think I've ever seen a goal like that.
Steve, when that went in, it must have just been going off mental down in the stands. I know I was going a little bit crazy on my commentary. Never mind what I like for Callum, for you.
Oh, honestly, I did the Bobby. If anybody has ever watched the Bobby Robson film, when Ronaldo scores that goal for PSV and he goes, "Oh my god, oh my god," that was my reaction. I couldn't believe it. Like Cal says, when he hit it, I'm thinking, no, what? No, what's the point? Like, why are you trying that? You're not even like you're not Ronaldo or Messi trying it. You know what I mean? What a goal, though. That is the best goal I've ever seen down at the stadium. And I've spoken to many fans who are a lot older than me. And the only goal that seemingly comes close is the one that Tony has scored in 2003. And I think Ledson's is better, but it's better. What a moment that was. What made it better as well, you could just see the keeper in the replay. And he's like, he thinks he's got it. And then as the ball goes over, he's like, I've not got this. And the best thing and the other thing that was great was whoever's doing the scoreboard afterwards just kept showing it over and over. And every time it went over, we were like, yay, yay.
I see that, and I raise you a better moment was there's a beautiful camera angle where he's just taken the shot and the ball is either midair or it's just going towards the goal. And it's a photo of Ryan Ledson and Casey Palmer. And Ryan Ledson's like, oh my God. And Casey Palmer looks like someone's pulled his other dreads out. He looks fuming.
Hey, I tell you what, though, afterwards, when everybody's like asking him, did he mean it? To be fair to him, like he said, yeah, I meant it. He absolutely meant it.
Yeah, he said he was tired. He said he was tired. That's why he took the shot, because he'd been working hard. So fair enough. And Oliver, I mean, I know you don't get to hear the roars or see it in person, but from TV, could you believe you were taking that shot?
Well, firstly, I just want to say how jealous I am. I mean, all three of you have seen the goal. I'd like to listen to your commentary. I'm sure it was great, Kane. I'm sure there's some good commentary on that one. Exactly. I mean, but it just shows the confidence in this team at the moment to be able to even think about taking a shot like that from was it halfway or just under the halfway line? Incredible. To actually have that confidence to look up, spot the opportunity, and away you go. And would that have happened under the previous regime? Maybe not. But yeah, it was an incredible goal, and I would say it was deserved as well at the time. Because I think we was going to score another one as well just after, wasn't it? But yeah, incredible goal.
Mark says that tapping for Ledson against Luton was just what we needed. Hands up if you've watched the Ledson goal 30 times. It gets better every time you see it. Where's my hand? There it is. So,
have you seen that angle that they released? And I've never seen
back of the stand
camera before. It's like the roof of the whatever it's called, Terriers together upper.
Yeah.
You couldn't possibly get it any higher. And I'm just wondering if it's like a CCTV camera or something.
It might be, but it is absolutely fantastic. Over and over again, what a strike, says Paul. Ledson wouldn't have scored that goal because he wouldn't have been there under Grant. He would have been sat in front of the defence. But what you've just said as well, it went berserk in the bar up the town. Paul was watching the game from a Chef Wednesday bar on Tuesday in Lanzarote. So, Paul, I hope you're all sunned up and enjoyed that one all the way over in Lanzarote. Just a couple of other things as well. I've seen Ben's comment. I'm going to come on to that in a moment, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
Dale says, since Luke Williams took over Peterborough, they would have scored in second. So, again, sorry, we'll come back onto that one, Dale. This formation will look dangerous every time we go forward. And they know that we've got Rolls-Royce and McGuane. Again, that's more for Peterborough, but I just want to get these comments out there. Let's move on to Peterborough, but last note from you all, please. Oliver, they defended superbly well. with 10 men. And after getting that goal, it was set one. Because even if Town would have got a point, that would have still been a good result after the sending off.
Yeah, I would think so. But I mean, yeah, it was a good display for Huddersfield Town defensively. Absolutely, 10 men. You know, we got one of the worst defense records in the league, and we're able to disprove that and be able to hold off a playoff rival at the Aku with 10 men. So it was a brilliant kind of mix of. But you just saw everyone fighting for each other. You know what I mean? The whole team spirit was there. You could feel it, and I'm 8,000 miles away watching from my TV. You know what I mean? You could feel it even from the Falkland Islands. Like it's, you could just and it was a great display of defense. Even though Luton did have the chances, granted, but yeah, it was great to see defensive units so organised and fighting for each other.
And Steve, how did you see the defending?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I just think it, like I said earlier, it's just simple, isn't it? You know, and standing up and being countered, and I think when you've got somebody like Murray Wallace there who just wins everything, I just think it's fantastic. Yeah, like Oliver said, they're all fighting for each other's shirt, all backing each other up when there needs to be a tackle made. The subs that came on were tremendous in the defending as well. So it was brilliant, outstanding. And Lee Nichols going down with cramp was terrific as well. I mean, he must be the biggest housery goalkeeper in the Football League. 100%. I've never seen a goalkeeper like it.
And you mentioned about standing up and being there for each other on the field. Cal, this one's over to you. Is that it's about standing up and being there off the field for the players, because certainly the Cowshed loyal, and they really started that momentum for the defence and got everyone going in the stadium, which was the 11th man rather than the 12th.
Yeah, it's the thing that we always have said, sort of maintained, is that we feed off what we see on the pitch. So when there's dross being served up on the pitch, don't expect four sides of the stadium to be able to get behind that, because it just won't happen. Whereas when a solid defensive display is going in and the lads are fighting for each other and, you know, putting the bodies on the line to protect the 3 points, yeah, we can get behind that, absolutely, because that's all we want to see as football fans of any team, but especially a Huddersfield Town team at this level. The minimum we want to see is a bit of fight and a bit of pride in the shirt.
Absolutely is. Okay, gents. Massive win for Town. It was the second game under Liam Manning. Again, it was 10 men, but Town got the 3 points, which meant we'll go to the weird rivalry that we have down at Peterborough. And this is how Town lined up on that day. So Lee Nichols, he was in goal. We had Wallace, Lowe, Balker in that back three. Sorensen came into the side. McGuinn also came back into side in midfield. Mumber on the left, Ledson through the middle. And it was Dion Charles who led the line with Kasumu and Harness just playing off each other. Now, we kind of expected some changes there, Cal, for that game, because, in all fairness, they'd worked really hard over the last couple of games, short period of time. Some of the players probably needed some rest.
Yeah, really short turnaround anyway. But given then what happened within those games, they must have felt, some of them, like they'd played 6 games. Never mind the two going into 3 that they had played. So yeah, I expected changes, and that then presents a different challenge for a new manager. You know, will the players that weren't necessarily your first choice, will they take your advice and your tactics? Will they take your instruction as well as your first choice players? Now, we had this mantra very much under Lee Grant that there were no first team players, just like there were no number 1 goalkeeper. Everyone was fighting for the position, and that just doesn't work, because some players are just better than others. So I would prefer a manager that calls a spade and says, this is my first team. You will be on the bench, but you will have your moments. And now that appears to be the case, because we've got a consistent starting 11 over sort of 2.5 games, and we've got a consistent bench, barring injuries, where the players that we've seen come on have been able to exact the tactics and step into the role of the player that's left the field just as well.
Okay, so Oliver, from you, you saw these changes. As mentioned earlier, we saw Kasumu a little bit further forward. What did you make of that?
Oh yeah, it was a good first half, wasn't it, for us? I mean, obviously Peterborough. You mentioned rivalry. I mean, yeah, definitely Peterborough seemed to be a bit of a bogey team for Huddersfield, don't they? Especially a while ago. But yeah, the changes needed to happen. Obviously, Manning it's only 3 games in, so he's got to still test his side and test new positions, new areas, and especially now we've got suspensions and some more injuries as we come along. So yeah, I thought, I mean, any change is good early on for his new team itself. But yeah, I just thought carry on, keep trying new experiments, new players in different positions, etc. And I thought Kasumu, was quite a good addition.
Steve, what did you make of them changes? Did it? Obviously we spoke earlier about round pegs into round holes. It was a little bit different yesterday, only very slightly though, because of what needed to be done.
Yeah, it was only done out of necessity. I mean, Bojan injury is not good. Obviously, being out for 8 weeks, so Charles comes in, did what he needed to do. Manning seems to be really happy with how he pressed and did what he needed. I think the interesting one was Kasumu in that position, but he does seem to be one of them very versatile players, doesn't he? Where he can do a bit of a job everywhere. So I weren't disappointed that he was. I was surprised that he didn't play Owls there, to be honest. I think everybody expected that, and obviously then Humphreys coming in. I think that again was just going to happen. Yeah. So the changes were fine. They needed to be made. Sorensen again for Gooch. I mean, it's just obvious, isn't it? But it obviously what was pleasing, Kane, is that even though those changes were made, it didn't hamper us, did it? You know what I mean? So and to me, that's what makes a good squad.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing, though, isn't it, Steve? It's about not hampering or messing too much. But I thought McGuane might have played a little bit higher, and Kasumu would have been the sitting midfielder with Ledson. But I think then again, now we're looking at it, Steve is going, actually, he don't want to change too much. And if he's having to change a player out of position, he's not going to keep swapping it here and there. Like we've seen Marcus Harness play on the right wing / that number 10, and then we've seen him playing in central midfield. And then he played further up under Lee Grant, whereas now it's a case of, actually, that's your position. We're going to play you there. And if you're not fit or someone else is injured, we're not going to move you around.
Yeah, and also I was pleased that he didn't do what you thought he might have done, because you want McGuane and Ledson to have that understanding and get that connection, don't you? You know what I mean? If you start moving players around, you don't necessarily get that, do you? You know what I mean? They can't form them bonds, that understanding, that telepathy. And I think, McGuane and Ledson are starting to do that, and that's why I think they've been a massive part of the wins that we've had, certainly.
Yeah, I would have to say so as well. I'm just going to go for a few comments, and then Oliver, I'm going to come on to you regarding the first half. And it was a case of what Tim says, lots of players scoring now, a real positive there. As a team, we're looking Wagnerish under the 1-0s, fighting for together. I think, Ian, that's probably across the Luton game and the Peterborough game. Tim, same with you. Ben was absolutely carnage in the away, and after that winner, looking back, I'm glad they got more goals than they did. Always appreciate that, Ben. Just a couple of ones earlier that he's put in. Give us a title already. 45 points out of 45 points coming our way in the next 15 games. Again, Ben will mention about that Luton game. Would have taken it beforehand, the point of peace, but would have been disappointed. Equaliser was off. What else have we got in here? Manning didn't panic. Bringing Kasuma on was being a blessing move for him further forward. Again, Jed, I believe that's the Luton game. Then we've seen him play against Peterborough. We don't score that winner at Peterborough without the pass from Harness to Humphreys. Great goal that. We will come on to that one. Harness looks knackered for the last 15 minutes, says Ben, but kept going, didn't shy away from the challengers. That's easily one of the best players in the league. Quality that comes to the end. Nice to see some more positive from the fans as well here. You know, this is your guys' views as well. And there's just a lot of positive at the moment. Paul saying made the subs at the right time to influence the game, and it worked. The game was class again in his interview after the game. He's a vice captain of the way, and so assured. All 3 games now, subs spot on. I actually looked over at the sideline thinking it'd be time to make a change. Seeing him single run, love the bloke already. Look, comments like this are just brilliant to see because we've had so many negative ones over the last few months, but now everyone seems to be fairly happy where things are. And Oliver, with a start like they had in that first half, it's understandable to think why there's so many positives going on. I mean, Peterborough had 3 yellow cards, Town were all over them, and then we were 1-0 up going into the sheds at half time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just positive. And there's, as earlier about the Ledson goal, there's just confidence in there, or it does seem about it. I mean, I would say out of the 3 games, Peterborough have been the toughest task, but certainly in the first half, Huddersfield were off the races quite early on. And I know Dion Charles. Some people here are not a fan of Dion Charles. I quite like him, but yeah, he did tee up Sorensen and he found the bottom corner. So, you know, it was a good start going into the break. And Huddersfield have been doing that quite a lot of this season anyway, going into the break, leading. Again, it just felt another one. And then obviously things changed in the second half. But yeah, it was a good first half for Huddersfield, and especially on his first away game as well. For Liam Manning itself. But yeah, it was a good start.
And Oliver, you've got to think that for Dion Charles now with that assist, that might just build a bit of confidence for him too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's his time to shine now, really. You know, with a few injuries and suspensions, etc. So that's he needs to cement that position. I mean, there is the transfer window. I think is it a day left or something? So yeah, there is if they're going to get a striker or anyone in. But yeah, this is his time to really prove that he is worth to be in a Huddersfield Town team and setup. Yeah, and like I say, he got the assist, held it up well, played it through to Sorensen, and he got it. But yeah, it was great. It was great to see.
Evening, fellas. Easy to get behind Manny when he speaks like a normal human being, says Joe as well. Steve, I mean, Dion certainly grew into the game, I thought, yesterday. He did work hard. He had a few moments. And I think in that first half, physically, he probably had the better of them 3 defenders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Tom Lees, obviously, you know, we know what Tom Lees is. I thought he got the better of Tom Lees. I think they had the young lad on. And the other lad that they played there is their other normal centre back, and he didn't look great either, to be honest. So I think Dion Charles played really well, to be honest. Even without scoring, like I said, set up Sorensen with the assist. But he held the ball up, worked well, pressed. Yeah, great. That's all we want, really, isn't it? You know, I mean, it'd be nice if he scored a few more goals. But you can't blame the lad for not trying. The one thing I will say about Charles is he does try. The quality's not always there, but he does put effort in. Just on Sorensen's goal, he did have a chance, didn't he, about 4 minutes before that, and he lashed it. But his goal, he actually took his time, put his head up, and picked the spot out where he wanted it to go. And it was a really nice finish, and I'm really pleased for him because I think he's been obviously in and out of the team a little bit. But for me, over the last month or so, even when Grant was in charge, you know, he's done really well. He's played really well, I think, Sorensen. So, yeah, it was a great start. Really good start.
It was. And Dion's bagging a hat-trick on Saturday. You've heard it here first. Cal, obviously we spoke about Dion Charles there, the Sorensen goal. In that first half, it just seemed as if Town had Peterborough rattled. I mean, Town didn't always have the possession, but they forced Peterborough to make a lot of errors, and I think it made them nervy.
And I think that comes with this tactic because we've not really addressed it, but even in the Luton game, I thought that they made some really unforced errors because they've been forced to play maybe in ways that they wouldn't normally. They've been forced out wide, close to the touchline, pressed close to the edges of the pitch, I think. But, and I've seen Peterborough fans say it, yes, we had a lot of the ball, but that was as much a challenge for our players as it was for the Huddersfield players, maybe more so. And it's all well and good keeping the ball, but it's not a reflection of the game. When you look at the stats and we had 30% possession and they had 60, that's fine. But that wasn't a reflection, as you say. They looked rattled so that they kept the ball playing simple passes. And we were more than happy to let them have the ball, knowing that they weren't really going to penetrate.
And that's a massive difference. It's knowing that. But it's game management, isn't it? And I think that's what we've seen over the last 3 games now is the game management with when you've got 10 players and when you've got 11 players, knowing when it's the right thing and when it's not the right thing to go and press. Look, a couple of comments to come in here. Paul says, I'm not the biggest fan of Charles, but now he's got to show what he's about. This is his chance, played better yesterday. Paul also says, we pressed well and forced them back. Dion Charles does a lot of running, which gets unnoticed and stifles their defence. So, yeah, look, there is certain areas that first half performance where it was very, very good. Yes, we would like to see more goals, but it was controlled. Game management was good. Second half starts, and I don't know about you, Carl, but this has been coming. This goal for Radinho Balca has been coming for a few weeks. He's got his head on the end of a few corners. He's hit the crossbar, but finally, he's got his first goal for Huddersfield Town, and I just couldn't be happier for him.
I don't think there's a more deserving player of that goal at the minute. I think his all-round game has lifted almost night and day from not only the player that we saw under Lee Grant, but also the Balca beforehand. I think that some things unlocked inside him that he's become the player that he should have been had his career not been hampered by injury after injury after injury and stifled his progress. What I really like about him is that he's not afraid to do that sort of dirty defensive work where, you know, any corner comes in for the opposition, he's first up. And the height that he can jump, and I don't want to use a Warnockism, but impressive height for a big lad. You know what I mean? The power that he can muster. There is a photo, and the sort of how high he is off the floor is genuinely impressive. But I think his all-round game's stepped up a year, and not a more deserving player at the moment.
Yeah, and Steve, you must have been watching that one and just been so happy for him as well.
Yeah, because of what he's been through, you know, it's been mentally tough for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still get kittens every time he goes down injured. I think we always will. But I find it interesting if you watch tactically at corners. And by the way, the corner, how good are we at corners now? You know, we haven't taken a bad set piece for quite a while. But if you look tactically, they make it obvious for the opposition to mark Joe Lowe and Murray Wallace, and that means that Balca is the free man. So when he makes those runs, you tend to not see somebody picking him up, and I think that's a tactic that, well, certainly Liam Manning has obviously brought in and they've worked on the training ground, because to me it's obvious when I've watched the corners.
And Oliver, I know you didn't get to see much of the second half, but you'll have seen the goals back, and it's a fantastic header.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy for him. One thing I did notice as well is if the 5 goals that we've scored in under a man in Huddersfield have all been different players. So what does that say? There's been no dedicated goal scorer, everyone sharing the load, and I'm really happy for Balca to actually get to get one. And you could tell when he scored, it meant a lot to him when he was running back. So, but yeah, it's good.
Ronaldo learned his jumping techniques off Radinho Balca. Is this an exclusive as well, Ben? I would like to know if that is. One thing that has made a difference is that we aren't messing about and trying to pass it from the back. This one, Paul, obviously talking about Balca. I think his confidence will be sky high. It's well deserved. Harness's corners were on point yesterday. I thought Humphrey's corners the other day were superb as well. Okay, Town 2-0 up. We expect Peterborough to come back into this one. I'm not saying to score necessarily, but definitely expected a better performance from them. I'm just going to go back to a comment a while ago, which was already being put in here, which Dale put in. Since Luke Williams took over Peterborough, they'd have been second in the table. So that's a fantastic result. So at half-time, coming out, yes, they've scored a second, which is brilliant. But Steve, we kind of expected Peterborough to come in, and I think Mark's actually just put a comment in here. After about 60 minutes, the previous two games started to catch up with us, and we dropped off a little bit. Peterborough came back from the dead, but thankfully, we had enough quality in the end. It did seem Town just dropped that little further back, didn't they?
But that's to me. All right, Peterborough were going to have a spell, because hardly any football match you don't go through and the other team don't have a spell. But I don't think if the previous two games hadn't gone the way that they'd gone and we'd had to play 90 minutes with 10 men, that's what it worked out as. I don't think we concede those two goals. I think it's just that we sat back. The energy levels were obviously really low at that point. You could tell that some of the passes were going astray slightly because of the tiredness of minds as well as bodies. So the two goals are poor defensively. I don't think the second one Murray Wallace can do much about it. It smacks him in his face, doesn't it? But there were poor goals to concede, but I think there are mitigating reasons behind why we ultimately let them in.
Yeah, Wallace, he got his body on his line, and then he tried to put his face on the line, didn't he? And you can't really ask for much else, can you? Okay, you concede a goal, but one, he's put his body on the line, and secondly, he's trying to put his face there as a lad.
It was like watching a skyscraper collapse onto the floor. It was honestly, it's just face plant the floor after the guy puts it in the net.
The Murray Wallace, the skyscraper. I can't even get my words out. Cal, obviously, the two goals that Town concede. Okay, Town do and go and win the game, which is great. We're going to touch on, but is it understandable that they concede them two goals? Do you see? Did you see the two goals conceded, and did you see why they were conceded?
Yeah,
I think that's a key thing, isn't it?
There is important context, isn't there, around not only the space between the games, but what's happened in those games, and also what games they have been. It's not like they've been a really easy run of games, and we've then certainly not made it any easier given what's happened. So players have had to work 2, maybe 3 times as hard. You will be expecting a little bit of maybe a bit of a switch off for a bit. But what I didn't like was that we didn't then switch on after they got a goal back. I think it took till they got the second one to really switch and get back into the game. And you just can't have that sort of a lapse in terms of a whole team's concentration seemed to have just been lost. And like I say, I appreciate that what we've had to put up against, but you've got to be more resilient in terms of you go one, you concede one, right, okay, fine. Let's just keep going the way we were going. Don't then give them more respect until ultimately you are backing the ball into your own net.
And Oliver, I know, again, I appreciate you didn't really watch much of the second half, so this one isn't necessarily about the game itself, but, fatigue, tiredness, into your third game in 7 days, 2 of them games you've played with one less man, it's going to catch up with you.
Absolutely. I mean, and I've said this quite a few times actually, and I'll just, also teams are starting to get used to a man in Huddersfield Town and what the tactics are, what is going on, what they can expect is what was basically maybe what have happened to Lee Grant. People were aware of his tactics and he was able to play as well. 60th minute, 64 minutes. Manning did make about 4 changes, didn't they, during the second half himself. So yeah, he is testing, he is trying, and don't forget he has only had 3 games a week in, so he's going to keep trying different different players in different areas to try and combat the fatigue and the tiredness that Huddersfield, obviously having a busy schedule,
So I'm just having a look at through the comments as well here. Adam says 3-4-3 gives more flexibility and gives 2 layers of a high press. So again, obviously, Adam, you're looking at the way the formations go. Also mentioned about Bobby Wells coming in. Ben Hopes is announced tonight, as well as something else I have no idea what he's talking about. Paul Murray-Wallace has been our defender on point for a few games now. He has to be one of the first names on the team sheet. Yesterday he did make a few mistakes, but all in all, he's consistent. McGuane held his hand up for giving away the free kick for the second goal, and Ian says Charles is the answer. That Ian is that's to this who gets the forced corner for Barker's goal. Okay, so 2-2, and we've seen games before this season where Town have been 2-0 up and they've conceded 2, they've drawn the game. Then it all kind of changed again. The swing of the game, Cal, weirdly after the third goal, the fourth goal of the game, Peterborough's equaliser, it went straight back to Huddersfield Town. It was like, Town are going to go and win this now because they've moved up the field again. They're back on the high press. Changes that have been made are good. And there were just no other feeling apart from Town will probably go and win this.
But that is an instruction directly from the dugout. That's players exactly what the manager said, because that doesn't just happen. Especially in the manner that we conceded the second goal, the players' heads had slightly dropped after they conceded the first, and then we conceded the second. What then happens is that Manning tweaks a couple of things and changes a couple of things, and you say what you like about his management style, but he's on the touchline for 90 minutes, orchestrating what's going on, berating players, shouting, giving it hand signals, everything. He's so animated on the touchline. And I think as a player in that situation, it's much easier to get behind the instructions of somebody that's very animatedly shouting them at you rather than a bit of a sort of, you could just nip in behind and maybe see what happens. But if somebody's having a right go at me, okay, you get up that pitch, you get up that other end, it's not done. You're thinking, right, yeah, let's go after him. And I think that's where the sort of momentum came from, was from the fact that Liam Manning decided that we weren't done and that we were going to go after the 3 points because we'd played well enough to deserve them.
And Adam says, we've gone from powder puff players to running through brick walls in under 2 weeks, the Manning effect. And so refreshing to see early decisions and reactions to what is going on, says James, which means one of them decisions and reactions, Steve, was to bring on the goal scorer, Cameron Humphreys, who won it for Town.
Yeah, and what a well-worked goal as well. I mean, a great finish. And fantastic celebrations, obviously, after the goal. But I think that's a massive point what Cal's just made. The fact that it's instructions, isn't it? He's gone on and said to Humphreys, I want you to get forward. I want you to try and score the winner. Under the previous manager, we would have lost that game. 1,000% we would have lost that game. Right? Under this manager, at the moment, he's saying, I don't just want to draw this game. I want you to go and win it. I want you to go get the 3 points. And it's such a positive, refreshing attitude to see on the sideline. Like Cal said, at being animated, giving instructions, clear instructions as well. So yeah, I think we deserve the 3 points. We deserve to score the winner. I was pleased for Cam Humphreys because obviously he's come in on the back of the previous manager, if we're being totally honest. So yeah, it was just the right. It ended up being the right result for the right team, because we actually deserve to win that game with the way that we played the majority of it.
Paul says, Manning on the sidelines like a Duracell battery. Love to see that. Northern Football 2.0. Oliver, on the goal, I have to say it. That defending is absolutely horrendous. Why is he giving him so much space? He's giving him so much space to take the shot. It's absolutely ridiculous. But either way, take nothing away from the finish because it was a good one. And as Steve said, you must have seen them reactions. And to beat the rival in Peterborough in the dying minutes were just the icing on the cake for Liam Manning that 7 days, the first 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But maybe Peterborough also, maybe they had a different mindset. They were 2-2, they fought hard. They were like, right, maybe 2-2, let's go for the draw. And yeah, I mean, they kind of left him, they gave him the opportunity for Humphreys to have a go, and he took his go and got it in. But yeah, maybe Peterborough were tired. I don't know. Maybe we'll listen to a Peterborough United podcast later on, see what they think, see what the fans think over them. Because, yeah, who knows what happened? It was maybe a lack of concentration. Who knows? But, yeah, it was a good finish by Humphreys, definitely. And, again, 5 players, 5 goals, 5 different players under a man in Huddersfield Town. So, good team effort.
Yeah, it certainly was. There's a comment on here that I really want to talk about as we look to preview the next game. We are going to go very quickly with it because some of us are up early in the morning. Okay, Jed says, remember, Manning's had very limited time with the players on the training ground. He's now got a full week, and we've got Blackpool on Saturday. This is a real opportunity now for Town to recover properly and then work on a few extra things in terms of what he wants tactically. And I think this is the massive opportunity to do so, Oliver.
Yeah, absolutely. He's actually got a bit of a time to assess his players. Obviously, like I say earlier, we've had suspensions and injuries as well, so he's obviously got to assess who fits where. And I mentioned, Dion Charles's opportunity. I'll expect him to start. Maybe, who knows, against Blackpool. But Blackpool have been our bogey team. We haven't beat them in 5 games so far, so yeah, it'd be a good challenge. So, yeah, it'd be a good challenge against Blackpool and a bit of revenge from earlier on in the season. Was it 3-2? I've tried to forget it. But, yeah, anyway, it was a good revenge, potentially good revenge for earlier on in the season. But, yeah.
And Steve, back at home for Town. Town kicking off a minute after 3 this weekend against Blackpool. It really is. We will see where Town were and where Town are now with these 2 games. As Oliver mentioned, Town lost 3-2. They've moved on. So have Blackpool. Blackpool have become a better side as well. So this ain't going to be an easy test.
No, it's against an Ian Evatt team, and the one thing you always say about Ian Evatt teams, they're very hard working, aren't they? So listen, it's going to be a tough game. I think. I just hope, even though he's got time on the training ground, I hope he doesn't think, oh yeah, I can get loads of instructions into him now. You don't need to do that. I'm hoping he doesn't seem like that sort of manager. I hope he just keeps it simple, get the recovery in, tweak a few things that, like we've talked about defensively, and let's go into Blackpool with great confidence at home. And create that atmosphere and that bond that we talked about so much under Lee Grant, how it wasn't there. You've now got Bolker, fist pumping the cowshed, and as in yeah, we're with you, and then Cal's going back, yeah, we're with you, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to it. I wish the game was tomorrow, really, but let's get this next day out of the way transfer window. I mean, let's be honest, guys, right? Town don't do anything in the transfer window normally in January.
Well,
So,
Steve, we'll come on to that. We'll come on to
Okay.
that. We'll come on to that. You jumping gun. Cal, as Steve mentioned, we wish the games were tomorrow. We want them coming thick and fast when things are so positive like this. What do you expect to see on Saturday?
I expect to see a nice, quiet, normal game of football with no red, yellow cards or stupid equalisers or goals, specifically speaking in terms of Blackpool, stupid red cards or goals that aren't over the line or, protests. It's not like anything like that's ever happened in this fixture previous.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Always just have a quite nice, quiet game of football against Blackpool and everyone goes home happy. So, just more of that, really. But, yeah, I think it'll be a difficult game. I don't think they'll give us an easy ride because they never do. It's a good Blackpool side, and they've shown what they can do. They showed it against us in the sort of reverse fixture at their place. We were poor that day, but they are a side capable of scoring goals and causing problems. So I think we need to just spend this week, as Stephen said, not drilling too much into the players, because I don't think there is enough. I don't think there's loads that needs to be said. They're doing the job that they should be doing now. So you don't need to go over it again and again. I think it'll be tough, but I think we should get through it with a good result at the end.
Yeah, I think tomorrow for the players will be a lovely just recovery and classroom tactical session. Just make it nice and easy for them. Then moving into Tuesday with a bit of shape, that kind of stuff. Finishing off with some finishing on Friday. I'm sure Dion Charles will be up for that one.
We don't want him in the classroom. We had that. Get rid of the classroom. Shut it down.
He only needs to be there for about an hour and a half, mate. Nothing longer. It's just think about it. It's relaxed. It helps with recovery, Steve, especially on a Monday with a manager who's not been able to go through everything that he probably wants to go through.
No, I get that.
Yeah, come on, get with me. Okay, so Phil says, fill up the Aku. We need to get behind them next week. And Ben fought the cup game on Tuesday. Come on, Ben. We do actually sometimes read what the fixtures are coming up, and he says if we beat Blackpool, Stephen is set up to be some away day. So now you're even forgetting about that cup game as well. Get your what we'd like you to do now is tell us where you'd like to strengthen, not who, where you'd like to strengthen in the transfer window tomorrow, and your predictions for the Blackpool game. We've got a few predictions in it already. Okay, now Oliver, where would you like to strengthen for Huddersfield Town?
I'm under the impression, though, don't fix what you don't need to. If the team's working well, but yeah, I mean, like I say, in terms of injuries and suspensions, maybe somewhere up top, a forward to also give, as you say, a bit of competition as well, a healthy competition, a goal scorer. I know Stephen goes with the big angry man jibe, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, someone that a goal scorer, someone up top, I would say, to strengthen, to provide a bit more competition to our current strikers.
So is that the only place that you'd look at, just a striking position at the moment, Oliver?
I would. I don't think we don't need to change much. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Manning's going to work out and he's going to try on the training field in this week or a couple of weeks as we come along. I don't think it needs to be changed massively in January. It seems like the team's working quite well together at the moment. There's a lot of positions. Everyone's scoring. You know what I mean? There's obviously, but we need that competition to cover for injuries and suspensions, etc. at the moment.
Cal, anywhere that you'd like to strengthen, or
just up top? I think for me, not even in terms of, I do hope that Dion Charles comes into this side and seizes this opportunity and becomes as good a striker as we know that he can do. However, he's going to need some cover as well. I think that's just natural that we need some depth in that position anyway, because we've seen how quickly it can go from, quality, we've got 3 strikers, to, right, we've got one and nobody else. So we need some sort of alternative. We're just quite lucky that it's fallen now in a time that we can go out and get one, and I hope that we do. But other than there, I think we're all right in terms of squad depth. I think we could, we've got good cover across the park, apart from striker.
Steve?
No, but a big angry man up top. What Oliver said, what Oliver said that I was going to say. So yeah, but I've been crying out for that since, well, the start of the season. To be absolutely honest, yeah, I can't think of anything. I did ask for wingers, but I think the lads that are playing in those positions are all right, and it's not really a formation that you necessarily need wingers. So yeah, I think yeah, just a big man up top that can hold the ball up to replace what Bojan were doing. Bojan were doing it really well, by the way. That it's just because of his injury. So yeah, I mean, interesting though. 2 weeks ago, both Oliver, Cal, not necessarily me because I've said the same thing since day dot, but Cal and Oliver asked for leaders and a natural born leader to be brought in. 3 wins later, a new manager, and all they want is a striker.
That's because Ledson's the captain that he was supposed to be now.
Correct. That's
I would say the leader.
Yeah.
I would say the leader that's been brought in is Manning, the one that has given the confidence, or definitely the confidence of the play. Oh, there you go. I got a round of applause.
Nice.
Not on the field.
Nice.
Don't get technical, Oliver. You were asking for a ball playing leader, not one on the sidelines. Oliver's trying to be a lawyer there.
No, but that's what it needed. It needed someone to go to Ledson or whoever and go, you are the one. You are the one to lead this team. Give him the confidence. And obviously, it seems like I say,
McGuane makes a massive difference to our team.
Yeah, he certainly does.
Tactically.
Players coming back, Herbie and Watmore reportedly back in training as well. They might feel like new signings. Ben say so. We've got Paul saying striker, maybe a winger. What else we're looking at here as well? Forward for Phil to get a forward in. Phil said Paul said love Molyneux, but unrealistic. What about players leaving? Yeah, Ruskin, not seen for a while. Manning says he wants a winger to change it up. Mitch Hamilton from Middlesbrough. There's been talk of that. There's been talk of Scott Twine. Is it Twain or Twine?
Oh yeah, that definitely won't happen. He's a starter at Bristol City.
We are
tried to take Ashley Barnes today, and he's he'd rather fight for his place at Burnley. That hurts.
Yeah. We're lightweight up front. We need a bruiser in, another forward. We're in for Barnes, but he turned it down, I believe, says Paul. So you're saying, Carl. Never thought I'd be saying this, but we'd be missing Bojan, says Jed. What else have we got other ones in here? Okay, lots of predictions coming in, so thank you very much for them. Has anyone got any names? Because I'm going to put one out there. Don Ballard at Leyton Orient, I think, would be a good signing. Steve, any names?
I agree with you. I think that'd be a great signing.
He's top scorer in League One at the minute, isn't
he? Yeah, but you can. I bet if you went to Leyton Orient and chucked a bit of money at it, yeah, I can see that happening. I don't think that they'll do that. I think it'll be a loan. I can see it being this Bobby Wales. I mean, I'll be absolutely honest. I don't know much about him, so I can't really give you an assessment on him. But I think it'll be a loan.
His goal of the month at Kilmarnock, it is genuinely one of the best goals I've ever seen.
Is it better than Ledson's?
Oh, whoa! That was
more technical than that.
I think, apart from that, Kane, I mean, the striker that I think ultimately would be great in this team is Wootton from Stockport, but they're not going to sell him to us. So, but yeah, I like Don Ballard, good player.
Oliver, any names from you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. So our colleagues on the West Yorkshire show, which Steve's a part of on Monday, Bradford have just got a steal they've just got Mullin on loan, haven't they? I would have thought he would have been a good addition. Who's from whose parent club's at Wrexham, isn't it? But that would have been a good addition. But Bradford have stolen. So yeah, but I would say he would have been a good one.
Cal, any names from you that you would have liked to have seen?
I mean, somebody's mentioned his name there, and I think it would be excellent. I'd love to see Laurent Tolai up top, but I think he's sort of beyond our reach now, given the season that he had last season and what he appears to be doing this season. You know, he were at Port Vale and he absolutely earned that move to Plymouth, and he seems to be doing the same now for them as he was for Port Vale. So he's exactly the sort of striker I think we need, but I think I'm sort of chasing rainbows there.
If Barnes has turned us down, by the way, that's a very, very strong indicator of the type of person they want in. If that's true.
Yeah, that says quite a lot. If we have made contact enough for him to turn us down, we are quite obviously after an experienced, old, nasty striker.
A nasty striker, yeah. Because listen, Barnes is no rainbows, is he? You know what I mean?
So Dale says, Jats from Notts County, 6'4", knows where the net is, shouldn't cost a fortune. Red Hot all mates at Dynamo Dresden for Daffenera. I think that's how you say it. Big striker who knows where the net is.
It's just misspelled defender.
Yeah, I thought that's what it said, but I am dyslexic, so understandable why I'd think that. Money talks and Nagel is getting his checkbook out. Okay.
On that point, very quickly, I know you're very keen to wrap up, but we are in that position where clubs will know that we need a striker.
Yeah.
And at the time of the window, they'll know that we're quite desperate. We could end up, if we're not careful, paying way over the odds for somebody that's really not worth the money that we're willing to throw at them. But we've never done that before.
Yeah, the sarcasm. Fantastic.
Okay, righty-ho. I think it's time for predictions, don't you? Okay, so I hope you're all ready for your predictions. We've only got one game to predict. It's Huddersfield Town versus Blackpool on Saturday. And Ian says, Town Blackpool, 3-0 Town, a new club record with 4 wins on the bounce for a new manager. And what else have we got here? He's got Ben says a nice 2-0 Town would do me lovely, but Ben, I think he said another scoreline very shortly after that one. Jed 3-1 Town. We've got Mark saying 2-1 Town. What else have we got here as well? Yes, look, Ben changed his mind to 5-4. 3-1 Town. Charles, Walker and Wallace. Is Walker a new signing?
Oh, he's given the game away. We've actually signed Burnley's right back.
Kyle Walker is being signed, has he? Balker, he meant, did Miles. It's 3-1.
No, he's given. I think he's given the game away there.
He might have done. It might be the inside knowledge that we need.
He's Chris Markham.
Yeah, the Patriot at 2-0 Town, Charles and Wallace. A lot of people going for Wallace to score. I'm interested in that one. What else have we got here? I think we've got another one. Dale says Town 2, Blackpool 0. And Paul says 2-0 to Town at Church. Can't wait to go to the game. And James 7-1. Where have you got that one from? But yeah. And yeah, Ben, we should know that you'd never stick to the one prediction. Okay, gentlemen. I think I don't even need to go to Oliver last anymore. So, Oliver, I'm going to come to you first.
Oh, this is refreshing. So I would say my prediction, I'm going to go high scoring, usually go quite low. I'm going to go 4-2 to Huddersfield Town. We're going to break the curse that we have. We haven't won in 5 games, so this will be the first time.
Wow, 4-2. Also, we've got Ross saying 2-1 Town over Blackpool. Steve?
I like how you're going in backwards order, because by the time we get to Cal, it's definitely going to be like a 5-1 defeat. I'll go for a 2-0 Town win.
2-0 Town. Cal, don't let him do that to you.
No, I've had my scoreline's been firmly set. I'm going 3-2 Huddersfield Town with Ryan Ledson, last-minute winner, of which he goes in front of the Blackpool fans and just stands like that. Because they'll love that.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, I'm
Former
certainly
Preston player will be getting all sorts loved at him.
be getting tangerines thrown at him all over the place, won't he?
Oh.
Phil says 3-1 Super Town. Let's do this. See you all at our stadium up the town. Okay, what a positive. What a positive show again. I tell you what, I enjoy when it's so positive. We're
good,
talking
isn't it?
about it is, it's lovely. We're speaking about wins. Our predictions are there. I mean, all our predictions, we've all got a lot of people conceding, but we're still talking about 3 points here. We're talking about 3 points, so that's what we're going for. It's been a fantastic show. Everyone that's listened has been brilliant. The comments have been superb. Thank you for getting them in throughout the show. I've done as best to get as many as we can in. You know the score when we wrap it up. Like, subscribe, share. I nearly said it in 2 words. You know the drill. For get it in there. Steve, Oliver, Cal, hope you have a lovely week, and I will speak to you next week. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a lovely week as well. And until next time, we shall see.